I grew up in the paradigm of a Catholic God. Are there any Catholics or former Catholics in the room? Okay, now, please lock the doors. Because I'm going to have to ask you to not leave the room, even if you become offended, because I want to tell you about some of the beliefs of my Catholic God. I was born and raised a Roman Catholic, and I was an altar boy, actually, if you can believe that. And when I was around 11 years old, or 12 years old, I remember that the first McDonald's opened in my neighborhood, up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Are any of you old enough to remember when the very first McDonald's opened in your neighborhood? Liar, liar, pants on fire. I know you're old enough to remember that. He did not raise his hand, so he's going to hell. So they announced that for the grand opening of this brand new thing called fast food McDonald's, they were going to give away hamburger, French fry, and Coke combinations to the first 500 people who showed up on grand opening day. And so, of course, all the kids from the neighborhood were there to take in the goodies. And I was among them. And 10 o'clock came, the store opened, and we got our hamburger, French fry, and Coke combinations. And I was delighted. It wasn't really that great food-wise, but what the hell, it was fast. And it was the first hamburger, French fry, Coke combination I ever had in my life. It was clearly not the last, but it was the first. And here I was walking down the street, eating my hamburger, French fry, and Coke, and I was just enjoying it. And then halfway through it, I spit it out. And my friend said, "What's the matter? Is it that bad?" I said, "Yes, but that's not why It's Friday." I forgot it's Friday. Oh my God. And I raced home to my mom, and she saw that I came in the room, and I was just beside myself. And she said, "Are you okay? Are you all right? Did somebody hurt you? Did somebody hit you? Did you fall? Well, what happened?" I said, No, but it's Friday. It's Friday. I ate meat. It's Friday. And my mother said, "Oh, sweetheart, it's okay." She held me close, as only a mother can do at a time like that. "Honey, it's okay. I'm sure that God understands." Poor dear sweetheart didn't have the heart to tell me in that moment that God simply didn't give a damn. So, I went to my room still thinking that he did, and so then the next day, that weekend, I was in catechism class after Mass, and the priest gave his little homily, his little lesson to the kids, and when he was done, he said, "Are there any questions on this or any other topic?" And I said, "Father, could I ask you a question about something else, but about Catholic?" He said, "Sure, theology, yeah, yes, my son." I said, "Is it true that if I eat meat on Friday and I don't go to confession on Saturday and I get hit by a car on Sunday, that on Monday I'm in hell?" "No, my son. You're in purgatory." I said, "What is purgatory?" He said, "Well, it's just like hell, only it's not forever." I've had a few marriages like that, actually, but just kidding. Just kidding. So I said, "Well, what happens in purgatory?" He said, "In purgatory, you have your sins, burned or cleansed or whatever, off your soul, and then when you're purified, you can go back and meet God the Father who is in heaven." I said to the priest, "Well, what about people who don't have any sins?" He said, "Well, my son, there probably aren't very many living saints like that. Chances are most of us have a few sins, even I," he said, "have a few sins that So I said, "But what about, I'm straining to find some example how about a 2-hour-old baby who dies, God forbid, at childbirth, but surely that baby would not have to go to purgatory, but in fact would go zinging right straight back to God the Father in heaven, right? And the priest said, not necessarily, my son. Well, why not? I mean, it's the picture of utter perfection, of absolute purity. Why wouldn't it go? Not unless it was baptized. Are you laughing, sir? And so I was told by the priest that unless the baby was baptized, and by the way, if it was not baptized, it'd be through no fault of its own. Obviously, the baby's 2 hours old, so it couldn't do a whole lot about that. So, but that didn't matter, and I was trying to explain to the priest, but Father, it's not the child's fault. I mean, the parents just didn't, I mean, it's not even the child's doing, sorry, my son, baby has to be baptized. Well, if it's not baptized, where does it go? To hell? No, of course not. Well, to purgatory? No, my son. Well, then where? All together now. Limbo? I'm sorry? What in the hell is limbo? Well, it's kind of a suburb of heaven and hell. It's just kind of a little over the side there. And I remember when I got that answer from the priest, I thought I was like 11 years old. In my 11-year-old mind, I thought to myself, didn't say it out loud, but in my mind I was saying, oh my God, this guy actually believes this. This guy is teaching this stuff. He thinks this is what God is about. He thinks that God denies entrance to the kingdom of heaven to a 2-hour-old picture of innocence because a ritual was not performed. Oh my. Oh my. We really are children of a lesser God. Years passed. 10 years later, I was 21 years old, and I saw a headline on my local paper, and it said, Pope declares eating meat on Friday no longer a sin. What? But what about all those millions of people through all those thousands of years who ate all of those hundreds of hamburgers on Friday by mistake? And all the time they spent in purgatory paying for it. What does God say to them? Sorry. Seemed like a good idea at the time. Ladies and gentlemen, with regard to the idea of God,